everybody. Welcome to Stamping with Melva. I'm Melva Peters, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in British Columbia, Canada. And you can find me online at stampingwithmelva.com. Here it is Tuesday night already. I don't know where the time goes, but it's Tuesday night, and I'm here with a sketch challenge for you. I've got this numbered at 124. So if I've been doing this for every week for 124 weeks, yeah, that's a pretty long time I've been doing it, and I know that number's not quite right. Hey, Betty, welcome. So I got a card on the incentive trip in the swap that I wasn't sure exactly what kind of card it was, and it's a bit of a pocket card. So that's what my sketch is today. There's a few things you could do without making the pocket, I think, but we're going to make a pocket out of it. So let me show you the sketch, and I'll show you what I'm going to use, and we'll start making the card. Now, the sketch will go live on Instagram and social media in about half an hour's time. So if you miss any of the measurements for this, you'll be able to find it over there. And hopefully I'll explain it well enough. It's not that hard. It's actually not hard at all. When I saw what it was, I really like this card. So, and I don't know who it was from. It didn't have a label on the back, which was rather unfortunate. So, hey, Holly and Lynette, welcome. Okay, so this is the sketch, and I said this will go live in social media in about half an hour's time. So the card base is 5.5 by 8.5 or 4.25 by 11 standard. Then there's a layer, which is the blue layer, which is 4 inches by 5.25. Okay, so I'm going to talk about this layer number 2, which is the yellow layer, is 3 3/4 by 3 3/4. And then the green layer on top of it is 3.5 by 3.5. You've got a strip that's 3 inches. No, sorry. Layer number 4 is the white. So it says 3 inches by 4.5. So you may wonder why that doesn't show, but that's where this piece fits in the pocket. If you don't want to do a pocket, you could cut just a piece of something to go on the top. That's why I'm kind of saying this doesn't have to be a pocket card. But if you're going to do a pocket, I'm using basic white, and it's 3 inches by 4.5. And then a strip in the orange that's 1 inch by 3.5, and then a sentiment that is 3/4 by 2, or whatever fits your sentiment. Okay, so I'm using a suite that I have not used yet. I have a few of those. So this is the Let's Go Shopping bundle. Les Shops is the name of the suite. And the suite comes with this very cute stamp set that you can stamp, make different buildings and all sorts of things in the window, and lots of sentiments for this one. The dies let you cut out, of course, the shop and the top, and then all the windows. You can make shaker cards from this, and then you can put all sorts of things. There are dies that cut out the different shapes, but then there are some others like this little bench that is so cute. I'm not going to use dies tonight. I thought I'd keep it pretty simple and let the designer series paper kind of steal the show, because this designer series paper is so pretty, and you can cut all of these buildings out. Now, it is fussy cutting. There is not a die, but it's perfect. You can cut all sorts of things, and there are even, I mean, I think you can cut them, I'm going to say mix and match. There are some where there are kind of the roof parts. Let's see, not that one. There's one of them that I saw. And there's others that don't have the buildings you can cut out, and then you've got food. Where was I looking? One of these I thought had a roof that you could cut, but I actually think you could cut the roof off of that one and put it onto another one. So anyway, these buildings are so cute, and I definitely will be making a shaker card from this. Now I'm using this particular one because it's got misty moonlight in it. That's kind of what my color is. Anyway, it's really pretty paper. That's the one side, and then the other side, of course, are patterns in all sorts of very lovely colors. This one's really pretty in the balmy blue. This kind of tile pattern you see in the, come on, go there we go. You see in some of the images on the designer series paper, the buildings, and then this one in Calypso Coral and Stripes. Anyway, it's very pretty paper, so I definitely will be doing some more playing with this. Okay, so let's bring in my supplies. I've done a little bit of pre-cutting. I've done a little bit of pre-coloring because it's, you know, when you start to color and cut and everything, it gets a little complicated, and I'm sure you guys don't want to watch me. So I've got a piece of Misty Moonlight that is 5.5 by 8.5. And so we're going to score it at 4 1/4. And then, of course, fold into the mountain or the raised line and give it a good burnish. Oh, the other thing that comes with this suite that I didn't say, it comes with the bundle plus the paper, and there are some, let's see, where are they? They are some embellishments that you can use to make shaker cards. Okay, so my layer number 2 in my sketch is the 4 inches by 5.5. I went ahead and embossed this using the exposed brick embossing folder. And I'm going to put a little bit of color on it. I can find my findy brush. So I've opened up some crumb cake because I just thought I would add a little bit of color using crumb cake, just to kind of see if I can bring out the brick just a little bit more. I could have used Daffodil Delight, but I just thought the crumb cake on this would maybe soften the Daffodil Delight a little bit. So when I'm using my blending brushes, I keep the lid open and use it. I kind of just tap off, and just to try and just take away some of the, you know, especially if my ink pads are really juicy. This one's not too bad, but it's just kind of making the brick look a little bit more distressed than kind of this bright Daffodil Delight. So this piece, and I don't know if there's a right and a wrong way to this, looks cool even on the other side. This way the brick is kind of indented. This way the brick is outdented. So, oops, not that side. So I always use liquid glue when I'm adhering on a piece that has been embossed, just so that the glue gets into the nooks and crannies. Okay, so that's kind of the card base. Now, the next pieces are the layer 2 and 3. So I've got a piece of Misty Moonlight that is 3 3/4 by 3 3/4, and then I cut a piece of one of the designer series paper. This one that's a Daffodil Delight kind of crisscross. I don't know what it is. So that's 3.5 by 3.5, and this is going to go on this piece. This is going to be what forms the pocket. Okay. So, and then I've got a piece, and I've already started to do some coloring. So this is layer number 4. That's 3 inches by 4.5. And this is what it's going to look like when the pocket is formed. So you're just going to kind of just see some white, and I think I'm going to put a sentiment or something. I'll stamp something there. And when this pulls out, it's got the kind of little surprise with the building on it. So I'm going to use Terran tape, and what I want to do is I'm just going to put Terran tape down 3 sides, and I'm trying to get it as close to the edge as I can. So it doesn't matter what's just top and bottom. So Terran tape will just hold this on better and to form the pocket. There we go. All right, I'm just going to burnish that with my fingers and grab a take your pick tool. I just find these easier to try and kind of lift up. Now, I'm only going to pull this half off. So I'm just going to kind of take it down to there. And I'm going to take this one halfway down as well. And take this one across halfway. And that will allow me to just kind of partly get it adhered, and then I can pull these off. So this is going to go on about, I'm going to put it just, it's probably 1/4 of an inch from each side. And I'm just going to press down the 3 sides, and then I can just pull these pieces of the backing off the tear and tape and get it down. So now I've got my pocket. See how easy that was? So this card, this little card, will fit in there. Now, it doesn't, I made it specifically so, or stamped it specifically so that is kind of a surprise that pops out. So I started to color this in Misty Moonlight. I'm going to decorate the front, but let's work on this pocket. So I started to decorate this and color, or not decorate, but color this in Daffodil Delight for the building, Misty Moonlight for the door, and then I thought I would add some Calypso Coral because the front of the card, hey Vicki, has got some Calypso Coral in it. So this is the light Calypso Coral. So I'm just kind of coloring. I'm not going to do a lot of blending on this. They're just, I don't know. I guess I could, but I was just going to do some coloring. And then we'll see how else we decorate it. Like I said, I've seen some amazing shaker cards with this bundle. I think it's very cute. This looks, the top of this building looks like a very kind of old building. The town I live in has some old buildings, kind of like this. Not so much with the curved windows, but the old kind of facade buildings. All right, and then let's do some. We'll make the top of the roof. This is dark Calypso Coral. Nope, that's Cajun Craze. No wonder it's looking a little different than what. That's okay. Cajun Craze is fine. All right. Not doing a great job here, but that's okay. I can fix any of the little bits later. Okay, might as well do the steps in that same dark. There we go. Now let's do the sign in the light. Now I stamped the stamp that I've stamped on here is this bottom of the building, the top of the building, and then I stamped this books across here so that it looks like it's a bookstore. Okay, I think maybe let's do. All right, I think that's good for this. This is going to go in like this. I do want to stamp something across the top. My sentiment is going to say, let's get together. So let's stamp that across. And I'm going to stamp it in Misty Moonlight. Oops. My Misty Moonlight is very juicy. There we go. It's a new pad. All right, so that's going to go on. And okay, so I need to cut this. I didn't cut this. Okay, so this piece is supposed to be 1 inch by 3.5 and is going to go across the front of the card. So this will be 3.5. Not sure why I didn't cut that. Okay, so we can now start decorating the front of the card. So this is going to go across like that. And I'm going to just trim this because I had it cut. I'm just going to trim it with my paper snips. I just had it cut a little longer than I think I want. All right. So I went ahead and cut out this fun little building. You know what I'm going to do? I am going to put this on the top here. In fact, I think I'm going to eliminate, I'm going to go rogue. I'm going to eliminate the sentiment piece, and I'm going to stamp the sentiment on the top of my pocket. And that way I don't have to find something else to stamp. So that's going to go in like that. Let's adhere this on. I do want to put some ribbon in that pocket, or on that card that pulls out of the pocket, just because I think, there we go, it'll be easier to pull it out if it's got some ribbon on it. So we're just going to pop this up. It's a big piece, so I've got quite a few dimensionals on here. I don't want it to kind of be sagging. I'll go on there. Now, I also cut out, she says, yes, I did. I cut out one of the little flower baskets from the Designer Series paper. So I'm going to pop that up using a mini dimensional. Kind of like, I don't know if you remember back when paper towel, I don't know if it's still popular, and probably people still do paper towel, but this is kind of like paper towel where you cut multiple layers out and kind of glue it on top of each other. So I'm just going to take and I'm going to glue another flower pot on there just so it's popped up a little bit. Now, I want to take this out. I have got this punch. It's a trio punch, and it has a ribbon. I want to see how far that cuts. There it is. Getting a scrap of paper here. I want to see how far down this cuts. Oh, that's good. It's only a little bit. Wasn't sure how far down it would. So it's got a ribbon hole. I don't know what that's called. So it makes it easy to put the ribbon through. And so I have got some of, this is the white glitter ribbon. If you thought this was disappeared from the catalog, well, it has, but it's still available as an online exclusive, which means you can get it in my online store, but it won't appear in the catalog. So if you love this glitter ribbon, like I do, then you can still get it. Now, what I want to do, I'm just going to cut a piece. You can color this. So I'm going to take my Daffodil Delight and color this ribbon. Gently, gently. Don't want to, you can, if you rub too hard, you'll kind of break down the brush a little bit. So I'm going fairly gently just to add some color on to this white glitter ribbon, just to make it match. I could have done it in Calypso Coral, I guess, but it just kind of makes it match my card base. So I'm just going to put it through my little hole. I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to poke it through double, hopefully. There we go. You might get, oh, it's not too bad. Sometimes it takes a little bit to dry. The alcohol helps it dry fairly quickly, but there we go. I just kind of, you could tie a knot if you wanted to, or you could just put it through and have a put some twine around it to keep it from falling out. But I've just kind of doubled it over and created a little tab, a little ribbon tab, so that makes it easier to pull out of my card. Okay, kind of happy with this card. Okay, I've got a piece of basic white, and I thought what I would do is just stamp this little pot on the inside, just so there is something on the inside of my card. And I'll do it in Memento. There we go. And I probably need some green. What kind of green? Maybe. Where's my old olive? There's old olive. Okay, let's put old olive. This is the dark. Just a color. Now remember, if it bothers you that you see the color behind, you can see it's bleeding through, then you probably don't want to be coloring with the blends. So maybe maybe coloring with just a regular marker would be a better choice. I'm just coloring that with Smoky Slate. There we go. So this will go on the inside of the card. Oh, and you're not going to see that anyway, but you will see that on the pocket, this piece that pulls out of the pocket where I've colored. So if that bothers you, maybe use markers instead of blends. It's not a lot of blending on that anyway. Now the last thing is I thought it might be cute to have some butterflies. So these are the brushed brass butterflies. They are so cute. So let's just kind of put one on there and one on here and one on here. There we go. 3 butterflies kind of flying around my little store. Just to finish it up. There we go. So it's pretty close to what my sketch was. If I bring my sketch back in, pretty close. The only thing I did differently was I didn't put a sentiment on, just because I think it goes better up here than down. So if you're not going to put a sentiment up there, put something up there, maybe stamp some flowers or whatever it is. But there you go. That's a pocket card that I think would be really fun to give to somebody. I have some people in my book club that I think this would be perfect for, given that we get together once a month as our book club. All right, there we go. Thank you. All right, so I am going to make some changes to my schedule. So it's not going to, it will start a little bit this week. So tomorrow night I will be live with a technique at 6:30 Pacific. Then on Thursday I will be live again at probably later in the afternoon. I haven't got the time exact yet for a mystery challenge. And then so that's an extra live through the week. And then Saturday, Sunday will be the same. Starting next Tuesday, I will be live Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday at 2:00 Pacific. I'm kind of changing it up. So it makes it easier for those that are on the East Coast at 6:30 at night. Some people in Atlantic Canada and on the East Coast, it's pretty late for them, given the time zone differences. So I thought I'd change it up and go live at 2:00, and it will be Tuesday will be a sketch, Wednesday will be a technique, and Thursday will be a mystery challenge. My Saturday, Sunday will stay the same. It'll be 11 a.m. Saturday, and then on Sunday at 12 noon. So I hope you'll be able to join me at least some of those days. And if you can't watch live, then watch on the replay and just leave me a comment that you're watching on the replay. I like to know everybody's commenting, or that everybody's watching, and what you thought of the card. So thank you very much for joining me tonight. I hope you have a great evening, and happy stamping.